A soliloquy is a speech that the audience can hear, but the other characters cannot. From time to time in the play, Hamlet delivers a soliloquy. There are 7 soliloquies in all. First soliloquy, Act 1, Scene 2. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. In the case of this particular text, Hamlet's soliloquy serves the purpose of informing the audience of his intense negative feelings toward his mother's remarriage and highlighting the inner turmoil those feelings create within him. The first soliloquy takes place after King Claudius and Queen Gertrude urge Hamlet in open court to cast off the deep melancholy that, they believe, has taken possession of his mind as a consequence of his father's death. In the opinion of the king and queen, Hamlet has already sufficiently grieved and mourned for his father. Prior to the soliloquy, King Claudius and Queen Gertrude announced their upcoming marriage. According to them, the court could not afford excessive grief. This announcement sends Hamlet into a deeper emotional spiral and inspires the soliloquy that follows. Hamlet refers to the world as an unweeded garden, in which rank and gross things grow in abundance. He bemoans the fact that he cannot commit suicide and explains in lines 335 to 336 that self-slaughter is not an option because it is forbidden by God. In the first 2 lines of the soliloquy, he wishes that his physical self might cease to exist on its own without requiring him to commit a mortal sin. Though saddened by his father's death, the larger cause of Prince Hamlet's misery is Queen Gertrude's disloyal marriage to his uncle. She announces the new marriage when barely a month has passed since his biological father's death. Hamlet mourns that even a beast would have mourned a little longer. Additionally, he considers this marriage to be an incestuous affair since his mother is marrying her dead husband's brother. This soliloquy shows Hamlet's deep affection for the late King Hamlet. It also paints the dead king as a loving husband and a respected father and further serves to demonstrate to the audience the hasty nature of Queen Gertrude's second marriage, which she announces without mourning for a respectable period of time. He concludes the soliloquy by voicing his frustration that he must keep his objections to himself. Second soliloquy, Act 1, Scene 5. O all you host of heaven! O earth! What else? Hamlet's second soliloquy occurs right after the ghost of the dead king, Hamlet's father, leaves, having charged Hamlet with the duty of taking revenge upon his murderer. The ghost of the dead king tells Hamlet that as he slept in his garden, a villain poured poison into his ear. Hamlet is stunned by the revelation and echoes of the ghost's words asking him to remember it. This soliloquy reveals an important secret to Hamlet and carries his rage and grief. He is shocked, stunned, and in great grief upon realizing that his father was rather murdered by Hamlet's uncle. Hamlet now refers to his mother as the most pernicious woman and to his uncle as a villain, a smiling damned villain. At the end of the soliloquy, Hamlet swears to remember and obey the ghost. He swears to avenge his father's murder and expresses his determination to remember the ghost's message. Third soliloquy, Act 2, Scene 2. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! In this soliloquy, Hamlet abuses himself for his failure to execute his revenge. He expresses his anger against his uncle. It seems that this soliloquy reveals his incapacity for any kind of vigorous action. Here he is only a philosopher. He is not a man of action. This soliloquy also creates atmosphere because of the way Hamlet talks about himself. He uses unsympathetic language and calls himself names such as rogue, peasant slave, ass, and whore. This language makes the audience sympathize with Hamlet because he has a lot to worry about with his mother marrying too soon and his uncle possibly having married his mother. It gives Hamlet a reason to be acting so mad because there is a lot to deal with in his life. His character becomes relatable to the audience because he is overwhelmed, therefore allowing there to be some justification of his actions. In this soliloquy, Hamlet criticizes himself for his lack of action and inability to emulate the passion of the actors he has just watched. He also reflects on the power of acting and deception. Fourth soliloquy, Act 3, Scene 1. To be or not to be, that is the question. Throughout this soliloquy, which happens at the start of Act 3 Scene 1, he thinks about whether he should face life's hardships head-on or end them by dying. Hamlet is alone on stage as he asks these questions about his purpose in life. Perhaps the most famous soliloquy in the play, Hamlet contemplates the nature of life and death, the pain and suffering humans endure, and the fear of the unknown. He is facing several obstacles. He is grieving the death of his father, he is questioning the hasty remarriage of his mother, he is disgusted by his mother's decision to marry his father's brother, an incestuous act by his morals, and if that wasn't enough, his deceased father has returned to Hamlet as a ghost and told him that he did not die from natural causes. Once again Hamlet is confused and contemplating death. He is wondering whether life or death is preferable, whether it is better to allow himself to be tormented by all the wrongs that he considers outrageous fortune bestowed on him, or to arm himself and fight against them, bringing them to an end. Hamlet suggests that death might offer a kind of relief from life's troubles, likening death to the sleep of death. He speculates on whether death might bring pleasant dreams and an escape from the pains of existence. Hamlet suggests that death might offer a kind of relief from life's troubles, likening death to the sleep of death. He speculates on whether death might bring pleasant dreams and an escape from the pains of existence. Fifth Soliloquy, Act 3, Scene 2. Oh, what a noble mind is hero or throne. In this soliloquy, Hamlet reflects on the contrast between his own lack of action and the passionate resolve shown by the actor playing the role of the king in the play within the play. Hamlet begins by lamenting the downfall of a once noble mind, referring to his own transformation from a courtier, soldier, and scholar to someone who is hesitant and inactive. He describes the person he used to be as the epitome of virtue and attractiveness in the state, expectancy and rose of the fair state, glass of fashion. Now, he feels that he has fallen from this ideal state. Hamlet observes the passionate performance of the player king during the play within the play. He contrasts the player's emotional commitment and action with his own inability to take decisive steps. Hamlet reflects on how his own rationality, most sovereign reason, has become discordant and out of tune and harsh. He feels that his mind has been clouded by his grief and uncertainty. Hamlet likens his own youth and potential to a flower that has been blasted with ecstasy, implying that his passion and potential have been destroyed or stifled. Sixth Soliloquy, Act 4, Scene 4. How all occasions do inform against me. In this soliloquy, Hamlet reflects on his own inaction and compares it to the resolute determination shown by Fortinbras, who is leading an army to fight over a small piece of land. Hamlet laments his own lack of action, feeling that all circumstances are pointing to his need for revenge, yet he remains hesitant and dull. Hamlet questions the purpose of a man's existence if all he does is eat and sleep like a beast. He believes that humans were given reason and intelligence for a higher purpose. Hamlet acknowledges the danger of overthinking and overanalyzing, thinking too precisely on th event, which he sees as a cowardly trait. He criticizes himself for his indecision. Hamlet contrasts his own inaction with Fortinbras' bold ambition. He describes Fortinbras as a delicate and tender prince who is willing to risk everything for a seemingly trivial cause. Hamlet reflects on the need to take action when the opportunity presents itself, even if the cause seems insignificant. He believes that greatness comes from seizing opportunities and finding purpose. Hamlet marvels at how 20,000 men are willing to fight and die for a small plot of land, while he himself has done nothing to avenge his father's death and his mother's betrayal. Hamlet resolves that his thoughts will be focused on revenge from this point onward. He vows to take action, and his thoughts will be bloody or of no value. Seventh Soliloquy, Act 4, Scene 4. Now might I do it, Pat, now he is praying. In this soliloquy, Hamlet reflects on the opportunity to kill King Claudius while he is praying, which would theoretically ensure his revenge. However, Hamlet decides against it for fear that Claudius would go to heaven and escape the punishment he deserves. Hamlet recognizes that he has the perfect opportunity to kill Claudius while he is praying, and he contemplates taking advantage of it. Hamlet views killing Claudius now as a transaction, a payment or hire and salary, rather than true revenge. He believes that this act would not sufficiently balance the scales of justice. Hamlet recalls how Claudius murdered his father while he was in a state of sin, and contrasts that with Claudius' current prayerful state. Hamlet wonders about the state of Claudius' soul and what judgment awaits him. Hamlet decides against killing Claudius in this moment, reasoning that it would not be a fitting revenge to take him at a time when he is seeking repentance and spiritual cleansing. Hamlet resolves to find a more opportune time to kill Claudius, when he is engaged in sinful activities that have no chance of salvation. Hamlet's plan is to catch Claudius at a moment when he is engaged in wrongdoing, so his soul will be damned and black like hell when he dies. Hamlet acknowledges that his mother, Gertrude, is waiting for him, and he decides to delay his act of revenge. And thus, our journey through the intricate tapestry of Hamlet comes to a close. I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of a timeless masterpiece. Thank you for joining us on this literary odyssey. Until our next rendezvous, keep reading, keep exploring, and remember, Last Minute Literature has your back for all your last-minute literary endeavors. See you in the next video.